Well, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate it.
We are looking at, this meeting now that's just been announced between Netanyahu and Blinken. You have Omar saying these things that are just so radical. And where's Kamala and Walz? This is a little bit more of their interview that they have released, and it's kind of frightening. Let's play a bit.
Like I have white guy tacos and
What is
like
that?
black,
Like mayonnaise and tuna? What are you doing?
pretty much ground beef and cheese.
Tim, what's your relationship to music?
Yeah. For me, the transformational piece of music was Bruce Springsteen's The River.
My personal favorite musicians for when I was younger was Prince.
Oh.
And of course from your
my.
estate.
They're serious, and that's what's frightening. She's kicking off a plan about the economics, price gouging. I mean, it's her policies under Biden. What's your reaction to how this strategy somehow is actually working, frighteningly enough, Congressman?
Joe Biden got elected from his basement, and he got elected because he didn't speak to anybody unless it was scripted. And I'm wondering, I didn't get to see the vice president's interview with Tim Walz, but I'm wondering if she asked him specifically why he's lied about the character of his service, why he abandoned his unit to run for Congress when they went to Iraq. So let me establish my bona fides here. I'm the longest serving enlisted member of Congress in the history of this nation. And so I speak from a position of authority here. And the relationship between a senior enlisted person, the command, and the soldiers or sailors is sacrosanct. And
Yes.
Tim Walz was the senior enlisted person for his unit. He found out that they were going to deploy to Iraq, and everything they're telling you about that he didn't know about until he put it in his papers is a lie. He knew that they were going to deploy to combat, and he chose to abandon the soldiers and their families to go into combat as opposed to leading them like he should. And that's an embarrassment. And he is, God forbid, he gets in a place where he is a single heartbeat away from being the commander-in-chief, because he is a coward and a liar. And if you don't want to believe me, believe the other senior enlisted people at his command, believe his commanding officer, and for Pete's sakes, for sure believe his chaplain that came out and confirmed this, that Tim
Yes.
Walz abandoned his troops, sent them into Iraq while he retired to run for Congress from his couch.
Yeah, and also in addition to all of that, which he astonishingly says he stands by his military record. No, they didn't discuss that. They're also not going to talk about things that she did and did not do as borders are. They're gaslighting the American people with these ads. You have New York City Mayor Eric Adams saying that she needs to keep talking like a cop, saying, the Democratic Party basically has a tendency to run away from public safety. Yeah, she actually wanted to post bail for BLM protesters. They enjoyed watching. He enjoyed watching the burning and the rioting and letting a police precinct burn to the ground. That's really who they are. We know this. We're talking about this. At one point, will it break wide open for the American people? Because next week at the DNC, Congressman, they'll try to be all glitz and all celebrity with their show there in Chicago.
The only reason that Biden dropped out is because he had to do an unscripted debate with President Trump. And people saw Joe Biden for who he was for the first time ever, because the media is essentially the communications wing for the Democrat Party. So that's why he had to drop out. And interestingly enough, within a month of that, President Trump was almost assassinated, and they saw him for who he was for the first time ever, which is a courageous man. That his immediate instinct after being shot in the head was to stand up, raise his fist in defiance, and tell everyone to fight for the freedom. That's why Joe Biden went out. Until we have a moment like the unscripted debate that Joe Biden had, people aren't going to understand that, because that's a forum that the press cannot control. That's why she's not doing interviews.